the tunnel, and that was just another example. We knew what we had to do. We knew why we was doing it, and it was another distraction that some players could take into the tunnel and onto the pitch, and we never had that.
Look at the energy. The energy there is like, you see a bunch of people are jumping down. If you can actually hear the tune, you can hear people yelling. And what we used to say was like, work time, game time.
We just shouted all sorts, didn't we? We just wanted to make noise.
Yeah, 100%. Everyone would kind of have their thing that they would do, but either way, it all made noise. And it was intimidating. Other people could hear that in the tunnel, and you could see if you start at the beginning of that clip when they show Leeds standing in the tunnel, they're all standing there like a bunch of statues. And I think that was just something that really set the tone. And we were on a high, but there's a difference between being cool and confident, and I think we were both.
So guys, where have those 14 years gone, huh?
Wow. you tell me. It only feels like they play the final over here. I don't know about you, Jay, but they play it over here every now and again, and I always get a message off a friend telling me it's on, and it never gets boring for me. I'll always put it on, and I can't turn it off till the end.
Well, I'm the same. I get the same reminders. Unfortunately, I don't have the Sky to watch it, but I do get the same. Where somebody shows me a picture that they're watching it in the UK, or you know what I mean, or they'll show a clip of the header or the final score, or me running around with an American flag around my head, stuff like that. So and like Darius said, it certainly is something that are not only fine memories, but just things that never get old.
It was my past 2 appearances at Ellen Road. There was 2 red cards, so I kind of knew what to expect. And going in, you sort of self-indulged in your own ego at times. And I can remember making the decision just to wear a long sleeve shirt for the final because I had a brace on my wrist, and I didn't want that to show as aggressive towards the referee. Just little minor details that you take note of from a personal perspective.
Again, I think it keeps coming down to the whole idea of the preparation and how pinpoint it was in every direction. Again, with the leadership of 80, to show up and go to Cardiff that week, I thought was a brilliant preparation for how he felt there was pressure in the room. I think, again, after the Palace games, we were confident, but most of us hadn't been there before. And I think that including 80, including the only one that really had the true experience was with Malky, but thankfully it had been 3 years in a row. He's like, I got this.
Well, I think, like Jay said, we were so well drilled. It was a great distraction technique from the gaffer and the staff that we knew what we had to do. From walking off the coach to where we were sitting in the dressing room, we all knew our jobs. So the fact that it was a playoff final, we was all concentrating on, right, we get to this point, and then we get to the next point, and this is our job going from there. And like the game showed, our set pieces paid, and we were so well drilled in everything we did. And that's credit to the staff of Watford Football Club that season. The tunnel, and that was just another example. We knew what we had to do. We knew why we was doing it, and it was another distraction that some players could take into the tunnel and onto the pitch, and we never had that.
Look at the energy. The energy there is like, you see a bunch of people are jumping down. If you can actually hear the tune, you can hear people yelling. And what we used to say was like, work time, game time.
We just shouted all sorts, didn't we? We just wanted to make noise.
Yeah, 100%. Everyone would kind of have their thing that they would do, but either way, it all made noise. And it was intimidating. Other people could hear that in the tunnel, and you could see if you start at the beginning of that clip when they show Leeds standing in the tunnel, they're all standing there like a bunch of statues. And I think that was just something that really set the tone. And we were on a high, but there's a difference between being cool and confident, and I think we were both.
Definitely a man on the mission that day. I think all season, all of us was. I think you look at the squad and the group that the gaffer brought together in the summer. We all had a point to prove in our own respects. So it was just a great way to finish the season in the playoff final. And I just think we, like most of the season, we just outran, and we was just too dynamic and powerful for a lot of clubs. And they never expected us. We was an unknown quantity at the time.
Ashley and Jordan do the short corner. That's just there for a couple different reasons. There's like 3 plays we do off that short corner. But as you can see, like one of my step to the near post is because that's generally where my run goes. But I can see the same. Like I can see Rob Hulse bite to the near post because I know he knows I'm going there. So I just kind of fake step there, do a little spin move around there. I see Malky blocking Gregan. They're having a Andre the Giant wrestling match down there. And again, you know, Ashley Young has an incredible delivery. I know where that thing's going. At the timing to get on with it, it just took like this kind of. And again, I had a purpose. I don't care. The goalie can come out and smash me in the face. I don't care. I'm going after that thing because this is my opportunity to do so. And I think again that shows just in the way that we attack the ball. I think everyone did their jobs to. They got there's the other Goliaths down there wrestling, and you know, and again, I get the opportunity to thread the needle because Rob Hulse is standing on the near post.
For a second there, though, I thought I was actually going to get my head onto it. So my eyes lit up as if I was going to score, and then thought, oh no, it's going over my head. And then all of a sudden, Jay just comes out of nowhere and just smashes it into the back of the net. The feeling just from you scoring, never mind when I grabbed my goal, was incredible. It was unbelievable. It's hard to describe, really, isn't it? You don't really. Well, I can't really remember.
No, I was just gonna say that. I you know that they say in big moments like you kind of black out. I remember the thud. That's the last thing I remember is the oh my God, I might be able to get my head on this, and then boom, because that's a ball whipped in hard. I'm running at pace, so that collision was just like kind of knocked me. So you get that thud in your head, and then my next memory was right as we released that circle, and Marlon kind of grabs me in the face. That's my first memory. And then,
it was some delivery, wasn't it, that Youngie had?
Oh, no, I mean, it was such a threat. It was such a threat, and we were well drilled. We had great headers of the ball, and you and Malky in there being able to manipulate people physically. I think all those pieces were so well in place, and they worked on every angle.
The amount of long throws we put in that season, I think whoever it was, whether it was Malky, Clark Carlisle, Jay, there was always a centre half with me that was attacking that first ball with runners in behind. This time, obviously, Chambo got on the end of it. Malky flicks it on brilliantly. So it was just, again, we're probably going to repeat ourselves a lot during this, but we were so well drilled to the actual probably centimetre. The gaffer was so precise. He would literally just have us on a day before a game, marking out where everyone's going to be finishing, stood, and ending. So we all knew exactly where we was going to be, and it paid off. And Kingy was just, he was brilliant, wasn't he? What did he get? 20 goals. Led the line. He was brilliant. But he was never going to get that penalty. To be fair, we already knew who was on penalties, so it was a case of just going through the motions and repeating what I've practiced probably 400 times up to this point, behind closed doors with just one goalkeeper and one member of staff.
But like Darius said, we all knew who was on pens, and again, we had done that. Remember we did that mock shootout, penalty shootout before the Crystal Palace or after the Crystal Palace game. Like, you know what, again, these guys, it was clockwork.
I think as well, you allude to the mock penalty shootout we had. I can remember deliberately trying to put it in the top right hand corner because there was no chance in a real scenario that I was ever going to do that. So and I'm sure Leeds would have looked at those penalties and had something marked down from the takers. So this penalty was well rehearsed to the point where whether he believed it or not, I pretended to stretch my thighs if I'm going to strike the ball, not place it. I looked at his previous, I think it was 10 penalties. He went to his left 8 times, and the 2 that he went to his right, I think he for some reason, he couldn't quite stretch to the corner enough. I think I can remember that. So it was from that moment where I thought, you know what, I've got a bit of room there. As long as I place it far enough into the corner, I've got half a chance.
I came in late, I think, for some of those last minute celebrations. But, I think when that went in, that was finally when we could start to, at least think that it's going to happen. Again, it didn't change the mindset. It just made it more fun, like I was saying. And again, I think we saw it through as we should have seen. And then these types of scenes happen. And, those types of scenes are what you play for, what you dream of. Again, that was like a surreal moment now. And then, then I'm running around the field. I know I have a famous photo up in my parents' place of me on Darius's back, and he's like looking up to this crowd, and I'm on piggybacking on him, and there was a lot of that. This whole kind of celebration of, we had finally done it, and we were a tight group, and we did, really, all believe that we deserved it. And I think that those moments right there, that last hour on the field before, while he picks the trophy up and stuff like that, is just the times where, all of the work actually shows and it matters. And there's that's why it's such a special feeling, because we all know what it took to get to that point.
For personal reasons, Leeds United released me at 16. So I think there's a clip of me mumbling something to the camera about it's taken me 7 years for that. And what I was trying to say was to prove them wrong. And on such a stage, when they released me at 16, I forever had that feeling in my gut of disappointment, which probably spurred me on to sort of making it as a professional footballer and having the career I did. So that's what I was trying to mumble. And from a personal reason, it was just brilliant to just beat Leeds for me that day. To hopefully become a Premier League footballer the next season, and it was some stage that the memories will last forever.
He took a team that had no real belief in them. No, all the press was telling us that we were going down. Again, it was kind of a mix of players, new and old. We didn't really know who each other were because we were new. We had just lost Ray Lewington, who was kind of changing of the guard. That happens a lot when changing of managers happens. And what 80 did is that he did this thing, which it started with day one, where he put more emphasis on the mind and the mentality, and he had circles every Sunday. And we always came into the meeting on a Sunday morning, and we would cool down, and we would, all 30 of us that had to do with game day operations, physios, t-shirt printers, you name it, they were all in there. Our kit men, and we all just talked about the game, the good, the bad, the ugly. What do we like about it? What do you think that this person did the best? What happened on that goal? But every week it got better, and every week 80 man is just in between. And
there was one Sunday where there was a couple that fell asleep. I'm not naming no names though. It just got everyone together at the right time in their career, because there was different personalities, different characters. The dynamics of the group weren't necessarily the same all the time, and to get everyone to buy into that was incredible from him. Keith Mincher, like Jay said, was instrumental in all that, along with his background staff. So, and I'd also like to say as well that the squad players who probably didn't play as much, when they was needed to come in and produce performances, they were different class, and they pushed us not just on a Saturday afternoon, but all week during training. I can remember Maps, he would just kick me from Monday to Friday, and we still talk about it now.
Can you put into words this feeling where you're jumping around?
It was a bit of a blur, to be honest, but fortunately we can watch it on repeat numerous times.
My favorite part is
Theo Robinson
taking it front and center. Hype man, here he comes.
I'm not sure about you, Jay, but the major clips of the day. Are you following me around, or it's just like training? That's what he used to do in training, just follow me around.
Yeah, maybe that was just
all training session.
That was just a natural instinct to go stand next to Darius.
this season, promotion to the Premiership seemed like mission impossible for Watford. Well, now it is mission accomplished.
I know this video was good, so if you like this, you'll definitely like this one.
Lovely. Done.
Nice, lads. Nice.